Hey guys, what's up? I'm Zach. Welcome to Zach's Soapbox. This is the video for the week of Friday, April 3rd, 2026. Hello everyone, I'm your host, this little shindig we call Zach's Soapbox. I'm Zach. Welcome to my little corner of YouTube and corner of the world where once a week I get on here, speak my mind, talk about whatever I want to talk about, then upload it and you guys give me feedback. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't. And let me know what you thought. Feel free to spread these videos around, like, comment, and share. We've been stuck at about 63 subscribers, and we get about 260 to 290 views, just under 300 views in a week, which isn't bad. So we get a lot more views than we do comments and likes, which is what the YouTube algorithm likes. I wish more of you would kind of comment and interact, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But anyways, so this week what I have for you is as you know, I've mentioned before, and people that have watched this regularly know, I am wheelchair bound and I have cerebral palsy. I was born that way, and I've been in a chair all my life. And today, what I'm going to talk about is what ableism is and how to kind of combat it, and that sort of thing. So, what I've always said in one sentence: ableism is the bigotry of low expectations. Ableism is always assuming that I always need help. Ableism is always assuming that I can't go to regular school and can't do the same things that everybody else can. But ableism is also more than that. You know what I mean? Ableism is the idea that somehow I'm broken and need fixing, that you need to pray for me because God's going to fix me, or science can fix me by catching up. I'm broken, and I need fixed. That is ableism, which always cracks me up because a lot of people that say, like, I'm broken and they're going to pray for me are the same people that believe in a God. And then that creator doesn't make mistakes. So then how can the wheelchair and the disability itself be a mistake? It never made sense to me, but that's a different story. Ableism is where I become one-dimensional and become reduced to nothing more than my chair or the cerebral palsy and disability itself. Ableism is the tendency to separate and kind of put me in a different category or talk about me as if I'm other and different. Ableism is always trying to put me in special education classes when I have straight A's and I'm a member of the National Honor Society and, get better grades than half the kids in the class that are able-bodied. Ableism is the idea that I'm somehow second class and a different type of person, or this, because someone has physical abilities that I don't possess, they're automatically more superior, and so on and so forth. Ableism is the idea of tolerance rather than acceptance, where you're kind of there, people say hello to you, they're not overly rude to your face, but you're not really accepted either. Nobody's inviting you out, nobody's including you, that sort of thing, where you're just tolerated rather than accepted. Ableism is talking to whoever I'm with instead of talking to me when I'm sitting right there and you're talking about me to someone else, even though I'm right there and can answer my own questions, that sort of thing. Ableism is asking really intrusive questions like about my medical history, dating history, and sex life, like it's any of your business, all because you see a wheelchair and just think you can come up and just ask. Now, on one hand, I don't mind if you ask, but you don't need to know how much how I earn a living, how much money I have. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know, especially like when you just know nothing more than my name. You don't need to know about my sexual life and dating history just because you see a wheelchair and so on and so forth. The really intrusive questions, who controls my finances? I do. That sort of thing. But so now that we've kind of defined what ableism is, let's talk about how we can kind of combat it. Because, you can legislate a wheelchair ramp and you can legislate an elevator. But I can't unlegislate ignorance. I can't unlegislate, soft bigotry. The thing with ableism is it's oftentimes a soft bigotry. It's not like, say racial bigotry where somebody's might, beat a black person or something like that. It's more of a soft bigotry because it's more you can't or you need help or this and that or this and that sort of thing. But so one way to combat ableism is to be respectful, use the person's name and speak to them directly. Don't talk at them and don't talk to, like say if they are with an able-bodied person, don't talk to the able-bodied person about that person. Talk to the disabled person, be respectful and use their name. Their name is not spina bifida, their name is not cerebral palsy, whatever. Their name is their name. I'm Zach, nice to meet you. Okay? ask me before you go helping me, before you go pulling my wheelchair, trying to push my wheelchair, etc., etc. Ask me, because like say in my case, I usually am predominantly in a power chair, and like with a power chair, you can't really push it if it's in drive mode anyway, because the wheels are locked on their own, because it has a electronic lock mechanism and that sort of thing. So before you try to help me, ask me if I need help, and then ask me how to help. If you're so if you're so insistent on helping, how about asking me if I need it, and then asking me how you can help me? You know what I mean? I don't mind that you ask. It's nice. Okay, that's nice, but ask first. And respect personal space and personal boundaries. Don't go, like I said, don't go grabbing on my wheelchair, pulling my wheelchair. Don't be petting somebody's blind seeing eye dog without permission, without consent, so on and so forth. We're people too, so respect our boundaries and respect our, don't do anything without consent. I mean, obviously we're people too, that should go without saying. Avoid, especially when you barely know my fucking first name, avoid asking me those intrusive questions I mentioned, like about my medical history, sex life, dating history, etc., etc. Finally, I mean, I know some of this seems kind of obvious, but listen to disabled people. Like when we talk about like our lives or try to, inform or educate an able-bodied person, don't just assume that we're all just mad at God or fucking just angry because of our situations. No, how about listening to us? Because oftentimes it isn't quote unquote God, whatever, who or what that is, which I don't believe in God. That's not for me. But it's not God who I'm pissed off at. It's people who kind of just assume they know what's best for me when they don't, and they haven't interacted with me in over 10 years, etc., etc. It's, it ain't God that pisses me off. It's people a lot of times. Another thing you can do is educate yourself. Like if you end up making a friend and they have spina bifida, well, Google, different types of spina bifida and what that entails. And, if they have cerebral palsy, Google the different types of cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is kind of a spectrum. It's kind of a umbrella term, you know what I mean? But educate yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? And, be a model for inclusion. Like if you have a friend in a wheelchair, be like my buddy Tom and fucking drive over and pick you up and then take you back to come over to the bonfire. Come out to Reynolds and come get you, to take you to Mercer, because we're having a bonfire and a cookout. We want you to come over. So we'll come get you and we'll take you back to your house. You know what I'm saying? Be a model for inclusiveness. Include your buddy in a wheelchair. Don't go all people should and say it should be up to somebody else, but be a model for inclusion. Invite that friend over. Because I bet you it's not as hard for them to get around, because they've probably been in a wheelchair more than just yesterday. So they probably know how to get around and probably know how to get in and out of cars and houses and things like that. You know what I mean? Even with or without wheelchair ramps. Shit, I used to go to Jared Carter's house all the time. He never had a wheelchair ramp in his house. Until I moved out on my own at the age of 24 or so, I never really lived in a handicap accessible apartment or a handicap accessible house. I used to have to climb stairs and everything every day. The bathroom to go take a shower, there was a half bath downstairs and a full bath upstairs. So you had to go take a shower to get up for school in the morning or whatever. You had to go upstairs. Your bedroom was upstairs. So, but be a model for inclusion. Don't go, oh, poor guy, poor fella. No, include the fucking person. Go up to him, hey man, want a beer? Hey man, want to smoke a doobie? Not that I'm into that kind of thing, but you know what I mean? Include. Don't say, oh, what a tragedy. Oh, what a tragedy. That's nothing. It's not a tragedy that I'm in a wheelchair. I'm not an inspiration just for being in a wheelchair, for knowing my own name, nor am I a pity or a fucking tragedy. Okay? You want to include me? Then include me. If you don't, you don't. But don't use the disability as an excuse. You know what I mean? But be that model. Oh, you want things to change? Oh, poor guy, poor guy. Fuck the poor guy. You know what I mean? If you want to include me, if you want to be my friend, come up and introduce yourself. Okay? Be proactive. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, but that's the video for this week, guys. Let me know if you guys enjoyed. Didn't get the new chair yet, but I'm recording this back to back. I just recorded the previous video like an hour ago. But I will let you know. I'll probably even do a video just on the new chair when I get it. I'm so excited. It's going to be a Quantum Edge 4. But, all All right, guys, have a good weekend and tune in next week. All right, bye.